Okay, a couple of things before we start. Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who voted on the poll. I always appreciate hearing from you guys what you want from the channel, because I basically just select video topics on pure vibes alone and just upload random crap that I, as a viewer, find interesting. So it's always helpful to hear from you exactly what you want to see, because at the end of the day, I make this stuff for you. And for those asking for the historic stuff as well as the more modern stuff, I hear you, and that will be coming in time. There's just been an awful lot going on in the league this season, and in case you haven't noticed, I'm very slow at making videos. Goddamn full-time job getting in the way of my much more important shitposting career. I also have a really bad habit of missing important stuff, so please do tweet any cool shit that happens at me. You would be shocked at what a high percentage of my video topics come from random messages on Twitter. See, for example, the Sam Dunk of Destiny, which I actually managed to miss altogether. Secondly, I wanted to bring to your attention this Reddit post right here on the Smite Pro Reddit, which might seem fairly innocuous, but it ties into a wider point I want to make about the channel. Why is this post interesting? Because you'll see they were asking for recommendations on what game to watch from the Masters event. And out of the 3 highest rated comments, 7 games were mentioned, and out of those 7 games, guess how many were covered on the channel? 1! A grand total of 1. And that came in at second to last. I've seen comments before from people on the channel basically saying that they don't watch Pro Smite outside of my content, which, I'm not gonna lie, is a massive ego boost. But it's also a real shame for all of you, because there is a ton of really interesting stuff going on at the moment, and I can't cover all of it. I tend to stick to the interesting storylines or the super outrageous stuff, but in the meantime there are a ton of fantastic sets chuntering along the background, which are really worth your time if you've got the time to watch. And as always, if you want to see something on the channel, then let me know and we can make something happen. Right, super long intro done. Cue the music. No, not that music. That's a bit more like it. It's finals time. Smite Masters finally had its finalists. The Onis, who you've probably heard more than enough about over the last few weeks, and the Styx Ferrymen, who have had an up and down season up to this point. To many, this game was a foregone conclusion. The Onis have been an unstoppable juggernaut ever since their inception, and they came in as the clear favourite. But the Styx were in ominous form, and there were some warning signs to the Onis coming into this. Firstly, this is a team whose core have made a habit of reaching finals against all the odds, so they should not be taken lightly. And secondly, they have playoffs Paul, who is just in a different league altogether. This is what he'd already done earlier in this tournament.
What? Pentakill dashed forward. What? Paul picks up an instant double kill. He's gonna make it a triple kill on Coast of the backline. Could it be a quad for Paul? Quick and slow. That's 4 for the champ himself. Paul wants to get that 5th one. Oath goes up to the sky. Where will the dunk down be? Paul's getting some defense from his squad. But Oath's buy time lands in. Oath is low, but not low enough. Paul can't get that. Penta himself gets pushed back, and it's enough. Unofficial pentakill for Paul in game 2 for the Ferryman.
I cannot believe that ultimate. Paul goes through with the crushing wave, says shut up, and just deletes 2 and does not stop there. I'm gonna give it to him. I don't know if you would as well. That quadra was earned, and of course, Oath stalled in the air as long as he could. But that was definitely an unofficial pentakill for the Hebo. They talked about it on the desk. There's a reason this pick is scary, and I alluded to it a little bit, saying this Phoenix siege might be difficult. Paul makes it very easy.
And this was his Hebo performance in the semis.
Ferryman walk forward, Vapor's Coast and Ducky. Can they hold up the defense? Ducky goes up to the sky. Coast inside of the fountain. When the Styx Ferrymen, when their backs are against the wall, you give the Hebo to Paul because he will carry you to the promised lands.
The difference between games 3 and 4 is the selection from Paul. A legacy game from the mid laner as the Styx Ferrymen push us to the absolute distance. What an absolute timeline we are in.
And all of that isn't even mentioned Bastion, who had been on fire all week long. So the finals hung in the balance. Could the Onis keep doing what they've done all season long when it really counts? Or could the Styx be the one to spoil the party?
The Oni Warriors undefeated coming into the grand finals. Can they hold that out? Can they win out game 1? Or the Ferrymen Gonna kick things off early. Let's jump right into game number 1 with Gormizer and Trelly.
It's a Gold Fury attempt. No ward cover spots this out, but Aurora, he's got good ears, and up to the sky goes Sot.
Yeah, this is gonna give some vision. Good dunk hits Aurora as well, and might just be the opening they need. The transformation and the damage is there, and first blood, 13 minutes in, goes to the Warriors. Cyclone, as well as the rotations from the Ferryman, force the Warriors to fall back, so it's first blood and done. Speaking of a vibe check, Cyclone spin up into the air. Panatom gets aggressive, goes in for the taunt. That is going to force the beads out of Cyclone Spin. Now Sino, Aurora join the fray. And so does Paul, but now on to Jake in the Gold Fury pit as they're starting to collapse. And Jake might just be the sacrificial lamb here. Has to walk away the healing, doing some work. And it gets him disengaged, pushed back, and then a miss from Basket and Kiss as well. The Root has to do it here. Someone has to kill this Afro.
There's no
but
way.
Has he pulled him too deep? He's pulled him so far, and he stays alive. On top of that, now Sot re-engages and locks him down. He's going for Sino, and he's got the backup of his team. They turn the chase into punishment. Netroid gets the second kill for his team, and the chase continues.
They have so much damage. Aurora is definitely next up on the chopping block. Do you have the jukes like Awesome Jake? No, sir, you're gone. Now the Oni Warriors get to siege forward, and Jake plays that so perfectly. I can't begin to explain how many times he used the back off to disrupt the CC, was able to use that regrowth to zoom out perfectly. His shell was even perfectly timed. And now the Oni Warriors get to walk up for the free Pyromancer. There's no way Aphrodite should live there.
That brings us to map state, right? Tier 2, Tier 1 gone for the Ferryman in mid. They're going to try to retaliate some of that here and now. Netroid pressure on from Baskin. Good taunt from Sino, and the carry just gone from the Warriors. Ferryman finally put one on the board, and Jake might be the second to follow. Your impressive jukes earlier, they worked out so well, they just won't work this time. Ferryman step forward, find two. Ferryman are going to set up for Fire Giant. Sot is here. Sot's taking a lot of damage in the process. The Prot Shred is there. The damage, the follow-up for the Ferryman. They tie it up 3-3. 27-40 in. The Ferryman get the Fire Giant, tie up the kills, and put themselves in a spot to push with their Titan. They are still ahead in gold, and they are still getting aggressive. Not as much ahead, at least, as they were before, or as far ahead as they were before, but enough. They can get something done. They're even looking for Sino wall. Just a little late there from Sot. Panatom might get locked away, has to throw Sino back, and once again, the 9 turns blessing a little shy. Not able to pull Panatom back in. Paul, though, gets aggressive, gets the kill, and gets what the Ferryman needed.
Well, now the Ferryman get their attempt at a Phoenix. Netroid does not have an ultimate. It's just Awesome Jake for survivability, and Pagon's got to clear out these minions.
Baskin takes a lot of damage up front, but they don't have the burn. Paul has to fall back for the same reason. Bombs from Pagon doing so much for his team, but they need CC. Trelly, this is where what you were saying earlier really starts to showcase itself. They don't have enough engage. Cyclone, Force in the Sky, half health, has some damage to turn things around. Sino goes back, 9 turns blessing used and healed, and it's paying off here. Netroid gets low, and Baskin is able to confirm that one. Sends him to the penalty box for 60 seconds. Gives them a number advantage around the Phoenix.
Up and now the siege begins.
Well, they get aggressive. Sino in the right spot to try and lead the way, but a good wall from Sot keeps 4 of the Ferryman back. Aurora takes a lot of damage, but they still get the Phoenix. Now it's the disengage from the Ferryman.
Good poke there, and now Pagon's getting doped by Bastion on the back line.
And that's the kind of damage you need to start things off. Paul is the target for Panatom. Has to dash away. Sot's in the air. Where's he going to dunk down, and who does he want to find the control on? Unfortunately, just off the mark from finding any CC. Has to hammer out immediately. Ferryman now aggressive. Baskin leads the way. Good taunt from Panatom. Keeps his team safe, but the poke still seems to be there. Ferryman just going for the zone right now.
This time, Sot does get taunted, and he's gone.
I mean, in the blink of an eye, just instantly gone. And now I don't know that the Warriors can fight the way they seem to think they can. Jake takes a lot of poke in the process of hanging around, but Fire Giant should be the open call for the Ferryman. And it's at half health. Ferryman in control of the pit. Baskin hanging around towards the right. Paul gets aggressive, dashes forward, much like he has been the entire time. Jake CC'd, has to use the ult to get away, and the damage is not locking him down. Panatom deep behind the Ferryman, trying to get something going, but they still have 20 seconds without Sot. 20 seconds and a 4v5 to try and make this work. And the CC, the control, just seems to be there from the Ferryman. Netroid takes a lot of damage. Jake takes a lot of damage, and one of those, both of those, the duo lane for the Warriors, sent into the grayscale. Gone,
And now the siege forward from the Ferryman. You don't even need the Fire Giant this late into the game. You just need 3 clean kills, and the mid Phoenix opens up the base, opens up the opportunity, Trelly, for them to walk in. And even though it's been lengthy, even though there wasn't a lot of blood, try their best to end this game. The damage seems to be there. The Titans doing a lot. CC from Sot is helping out.
That all should do it.
Slow a little bit, but that damage from Cyclone seals the deal and gives the Ferryman one in hand of a best of 5 against the Warriors, and a hard-fought one at that. Massive lead early, but they fall nonetheless. Ferryman find themselves up 1-0. Still a long best of 5 to go. We'll see what happens right after this. Now we got to talk about him. Maybe we're going to have to hold that for a second. Panatom, early kill this time. Sino shuts down the jungler early on, and that's exactly who I wanted to talk about, the Lancelot. Sino, again, laying in wait on right. Solo or Troll is getting low. They just need a little more damage. The Acorns get a little bit of that poke out there, but not enough yet. The blink is good, and the autos are there too. Up for the Ferryman, and both on the jungler.
Paul, pretty far up here for a gank from Panatom, but he hits level 5 right at the worst moment possible. Now Panatom has to try and run away.
Has to play carefully. And they will, Chelly. They're going to get away this time around. Now it might end up leading to some retaliation. Jump from Panatom onto Paul. Damage is there. The knock-up not going to be available. Crushing Wave only does a little bit. The damage from Panatom is there. Not only that, the horse helps him disengage away from Sino, and the Warriors pick up a kill. Now they're looking for a second dash forward from Netroid. Damage switched from Aurora onto Cyclone, but it's not enough to get a kill onto either members of the dual lane, and it's a kill plus some scraps for the Warriors.
Yep, but Baskin gets to just dominate this lane for free. Awesome Jake uses a lot of his cooldowns. There's no way that dash is coming up anytime soon, and Aurora will get credit for that kill. The Pyromancers, where we thought a fight might break out, doesn't end up happening, and once again, Awesome Jake surrounded by 5, but he gets walled off.
Walled off. The stun is good for his team, but not good for Jake. So it is going to be a support for Fury trade.
Sasha's laughing. He really just killed Jake, and you're okay with it?
The Warriors unable to get things going their way. Pyromancer picked back up for the Ferryman, but the kill goes the way of the Warriors. They take out a Roar at the cost of a Runic Bomb. That's now on Cyclone Spin's belt. Now they're going to start pushing with an enhanced minion wave. Right down mid, they take tier 1. Sot is now joined the fray, gone up to the air, comes dunking down, finds 2, and gets some follow-up damage, but it's onto the front line. Not a lot to stick, but it does not matter when you've got the team around you to burn through Aurora's health bar. A little more damage, and the kill goes the way of the Warriors. Now 3-4, and pushing with their Titan. They want a little more, so instead, turn back, take down the Chaos Titan, let your own start to push. You know what, Charlie, why not go for the Primal Fury since you have the advantage over on left? And even right now,
Pagon.
it is about as even as it can get. You have to keep your eyes on Pagon, where the damage is going to be. Sino not able to get the knock-up of Pagon. Still burned down by the Ferryman. Paul, though, answered in return. That is mid for mid. Warriors still hanging around. Sino has nothing to get away with. Uses the stun. What kind of follow-up does Sot have? Wall's good, but it's not able to chase them down. It's a 4-on-4, but the Warriors are getting low, have to back away. Same can be said for the Ferryman. Mid laner's gone, not back for another 38. Trelly, that puts another pause. Leans us closer to that EFG you were talking about. Sot goes up to the air, looks for Cyclone, doesn't find a dunk onto him or Paul, and the damage is there. Crushing Wave moved forward. Jake is the target for the Ferryman, but the fight is turning around. The Warriors are doing exactly what they need to push them back. Baskin has to go back to base. Paul is still able to pick up Jake, but it's going to cost him his life. Sot finds him in the blue buff, picked up by Aurora, fed to Cyclone Spin, is the Thor. And that makes things a little more equal. 2-for-1. Ferryman losing Paul, though. A big blow to their damage. But they get to stay aggressive. No, they get the damage onto Panatom backing under the tier 2. Cyclone finds himself a double, and what a massive opening for the Ferryman.
That's insane. That looked like a great fight for the Oni Warriors, but Paul just jukes for so long, stays alive just a bit too far. And now Styx Ferryman have a chance to pull EFG. It's not going to be free, though. There's some low health bars here, and Netroid and Pagon are stepping forward. There's no ward coverage to spot them out. Are they going to commit to try and defend this? It looks like they will. They'll step forward.
Sometimes you've got to go for the steal. Pagon has gotten at least one FG steal with a Divine Ruin proc while on Merlin in the past. Does not have the Divine Ruin, just has to do it with the old-fashioned damage. Doesn't seem like he's willing to commit too hard. Relics are down right now for him. Uses the flicker to dodge outside. I knows damage, turns it around with the help of Netroid, and kills the jungler in the blink of an eye, but takes so much in the process that he goes down, but Aurora melted with the help of the Warriors. And now Sot's looking for a little more. Double tap should be good. The follow-through on the Cyclone Spin will not be there. Pagon dies, but stops the Fire Giant, and the team helps pick up 2 on the retreat. This is where things can be a little hairy, right? Merlin is a lot of the burn here. This Fire Giant's dead already. If Pagon's alive, 10 seconds until he's back. An enhanced Fire Giant for all 5 would be massive, but you've got 3
runic bombs
still hanging around. 2 runic bombs for secure. Baskin coming around the side looking for the fight.
The
Ferryman get the Fire Giant away from the Warriors, and now they surge forward. They've got the damage. Paul has to play carefully. Cyclone as well. Sot's up in the air. But there's no way he's coming crashing down. You lose the FG, you lose the fight, and you might lose a little more. No, Panatom gets the disengage just in time, but an unfortunate tumble for the Warriors here. And Trulli 35 minutes in, the first Fire Giant goes down, and the Ferrymen have an advantage.
But the Oni Warriors have the defense opportunity. Sot's got Anvil of Dawn, so we can go between both. But look at this, just mid-Phoenix left alone. That's going to drop.
Yeah, and you have one of the runic bombs over there. Makes it super easy for them to engage. The CC doesn't connect from the Warriors, and the Ferrymen crack open the base right in the middle. 2 now focus over towards right. Sino's looking for a second Phoenix. Aurora is going to lose his life, but it is going to cost another bird and some pressure as Sino continues to control the right side of the map.
Like Baskin can. Now Awesome Jake is attempting to create that fight, but he already double dashed, and he's pretty deep in the jungle.
Might find some trouble here. Sino immediately goes towards Netroid. Takes some damage. In fact, it's going to be the fight that the Warriors want. They have him isolated. They just need a little more damage, and the auto from Pagon is what kills off the jungler for the Ferryman. Now a 5v4, and look at Panatom, look at Pagon, look at Jake. They wanted the loop around. They wanted the fight. They're going to have to play carefully. Panatom has the ult. Sot as well, able to go up into the air at any point in time. Fire Giant slowly burning down. Panatom wants the fight. The fight's coming to him, and he has to use his ult to disengage. Sot goes deep. Sot finds Paul, looks for damage, forces the beads, and makes Paul retreat, keeping them in a 5v4 advantage, but health bar is starting to get a little shaky for the Warriors.
They certainly are. Pagon's going to take a lot of damage here from Aurora, and it seems like the Ferrymen are able to siege forward even without Sino.
A necessity in these fights, and Paul might be the target for them. Sot locks him down for a little bit, but unable to get the massive damage they need. The dump is on to Cyclone Spin. Sot goes into the backline as well. But it does not feel like a confident fight. They finally come together. They kill off Cyclone, but they lose Netroid in the process. Ferryman surge forward. Slows coming from Paul. Damage is still there, but no ult. And I think that's going to be the retreat. Sino too low to fight. Jake, healing can only get you so far. Baskin scoffs at the damage. They need a little more CC to lock him in, but finally they shut him down, and finally they get this kill, and that one is going to roll over into the Warriors as they pick up Aurora there after 3. Gone for 70 on the Ferryman. Just Netroid paid for it.
They don't have Netroid for 33 second score, and that means no Fire Giant. It's time to push in for a possible Phoenix, but Crushing Wave is back up. This is not going to be as easy as walk in and auto down the Phoenix.
Have to be careful. You have to decide how you're going to take it. Minion wave is there, so backdoor protection's gone. You need some autos. And Trulli, this is where that one Stygian beacon they were able to get earlier is actually going to be pretty helpful in sieging down the mid Phoenix. 2 were cracked for the Warriors earlier.
They want the bait.
And they wanted a little more. Paul has to use his ult, then the cripple field, the jump in. Panatom is locked in for the kill, but not able to find it. Doesn't have the damage. Instead, it's the turnaround from Cyclone and Sino to make sure things go awry for the Warriors. Sot now 2 deep and 2 gone on the side of the Warriors. Double kill for Cyclone Spin. The bait, they thought they were pulling Paul out, but Paul pulls them in. And the Ferryman set up in a great position. Aurora will be respawning as Jake goes down. A triple for Cyclone and a wide open field for the Ferryman.
And now Netroid and Pagon have to try and defend their base. It doesn't look like an EFG is in the opportunity here for the Ferryman either. They're going to siege forward. Can they go in for the end? In the next 42 seconds, they're certainly going to try.
This Phoenix forfeit 20 seconds for Panatom. A lot of pressure on the Warriors to try and hold here, but they might not even have the time. Damage seems to be good from the Ferryman. Pagon's looking for a lot. He's trying to trade him out, trying to get him low. He gets rid of Sino, but he cannot save the Titan. And now 2-0 up are the Ferrymen. And Trelly, they put themselves on set points. Backs against the wall now for the Warriors. Long games for Game 1 and Game 2. They're going to need to change things up if they want to stay alive in this, if they want to keep that undefeated record alive. Might all come down to the next game. We'll find out right after this.
The Styx Ferrymen are 1 game away from a grand finals victory here in Summer Masters. The Oni Warriors have got to fight back and keep their undefeated streak alive. Can they do it in game number 3? Let's throw it to the casters.
Put a pause on. It's a slow burn right now, but with the CC they have, the Warriors 1 auto away, and they don't even need it. The Shadow Lock does enough. First blood, a minute and a half in, right onto Ganesh. Sino goes for a gank onto Sot. Immunity used. The pin not on the mark, and Panatom happens to be in the neighborhood. Sot just trying to buy time, finds the root, double tap, doesn't connect, but there's the hammer, there's the autos, and there's a second kill online for the Warriors. This time, with this amount of pressure, the Warriors starting to feel a little bit better about how this game has started.
But Baskin's out of mana.
And Panatom has the dunk, has the wall, has the damage, and has the help from Sot to get a third one on the board for the Warriors.
The Oni Warriors are going to start this up.
Should have plenty of good control over here. Cyclone is going to spot it out. Beacon's going to be spawning in 30 seconds. That's going to be aggression now from Jake. Locks down a roar. Needs some damage from his team. Sino comes in, double taunt, and it's on to Jake where the damage is falling. Up to the sky goes Panatom. Where do they want to go? And do they want to go? The answer seems to be no from the Warriors' positioning. They try for a Fury. They try to make a call, but the Ferrymen call the bluff. Primal Fury started up by the Warriors. It seems to be enough now. Dharmic Pillar's dropped, but not enough to get the Fury, or the steal, or the fight as of right now. The Warriors getting aggressive and burning through a roar quickly. And are able to find that one easily. They lose the beacon, but Trelly, they're going to start pushing a tier 2 here, 18.5 ends. Now on the Fire Giant, sub 20 minutes, Trelly. They've heard our woes over yesterday's games, over the set so far, and they have picked up the pace, and they're starting this fight. Sino goes in. Warriors get the Fire Giant damage. Is trying to be there from the Ferryman, but they just do not have the fight. They try to chase deep. They've got Netroid up into the sky. They've got Panatom into the sky. They both come crashing down. Netroid's low. Aegis finding a lot of value, but Baskin just burns through it, gets the Fearless, gets the kill, and takes care of the carry. Warriors have to fall back. It's a wide open space now for the first time. Maybe some aggression from the Ferryman.
We finally got a decent look at how much damage Cyclone can do, but what kind is this pathing? He's out by himself.
Yeah, locked down, CC'd, uses the beads. Has some good damage, though. Sot rotates to the other side. You've got 4 around. You got to take down the Freya, but they aren't able to get it. Instead, up to the sky, the Valkyrie's discretion. Shots are good. Paul finishes off the kill and gets rid of the Raven. Now the Ferrymen starting to get aggressive, starting to find their lockdown. I don't know that this one's going to go as far as they want. A good double tap as well, but it's the engage actually from the Ferrymen instead. They just burn Panatom in the blink of an eye, and then a great Fearless, a beautiful, beautiful pull from Baskin leads them right to the carries of the Ferrymen. The damage is there, and the kills are flowing. 3 gone on the Warriors, with Jake sending them on a wild goose chase to earn number 4, but the Ferrymen, in the blink of an eye, stop that engage immediately. Experience, and maybe now damage, starting to shimmy towards the Ferryman. Titans have been unleashed over, and right there is another double into a double taunt as well from Sino. Baskin and Sino doing everything they can to set it up, and Panatom dies in the sky. The chase is still on. Sot, Netroid, Jake, and Pagon standing with the Titan in right. There's nothing they can do to defend this. The push is strong for the Ferryman with a kill onto the jungler, and they have opened up the conversation on the right-hand side of the map.
Doesn't matter. Fire Giant has begun, and there's 4 Oni Warriors nearby. The Frenzy gets popped. It's going down so fast.
It's going to be the damage that's necessary, but the Warriors still step forward. Jake is here, Sot is here, but they have to play carefully. Fire Giant getting low, but it's not getting DPS. They're looking for the kill. The Raven finally shredded, and the Fire Giant to the Ferryman on all 5.
Only a minute 40 left, but they can go in slowly for this Phoenix.
Fire minions on right. Help alleviate a little bit of the pressure. Double carry means they've knocked down half of the Phoenix already. Baskin goes in for the ult, unable to find the CC. And there's an ult from Jake to limit some of the damage. Paul gets the shots that are necessary and gets rid of the support for the Warriors. And now the Fearless is on. Not enough damage to kill off Sot just yet, but enough to find the Phoenix. Enhanced Fire Giant's going to be spawning up next, and right now the Ferryman fishing for a kill.
Whoa.
They force the beads onto Panatom, and then they get Jake caught out of position, an easy kill, and then a jump in from Baskin almost kills off the Thor on his own. But it is a 1-kill swing for the Ferryman, a 4v5, maybe 3v5, as Panatom gets sent back to base.
I mean, Gore, we haven't seen the Oni Warriors lose 2 consecutive games in a row ever since their consumption. Now, they are on the brink of losing a 3-0 set to the Styx Ferryman, and I saw fear in Panatom's eyes. Have you ever seen him panic beads?
I've never seen a panic.
He was frightened that he was going to die. He knew the cooldowns were down. He knew there was no way the Basket could close gap, but he was pre-beadsing a stun that did not come until much, much later. Panatom, without beads, makes this engage a lot easier. Baskin laughing at the damage coming his way from that double tap. This right side bird should be dropping down relatively easily. The Oni Warriors have one goal, and it's to defend their own Titan. But the Oni Warriors are not sitting in base, cowering. Look at this. They're setting up an ambush. Who's going to step up first? It's going to be Sino, who has Blink and Beads. They're going to walk right into the Lion's Den, but Awesome Jake only gets the Erlong, who's not taking a lot of damage.
Dharmic Pillars instead shred a little towards the Ferryman. Aurora's leading the way, and is trying to find the CC. Panatom forced up into the sky, away from Sino and away from Baskin. But the Ferrymen are the ones who want this engagement. Panatom finds a double dunk and Sot jumps in for the fight. But Paul, the damage that's necessary, it's there, and it's burning through the Robin, it's burning through the Nox. The front line for the Warriors gone in an instant. Fire minions on right, a weakened Phoenix in mid, and the Ferrymen running down towards the Warriors. They have to play carefully though. Good wall from Panatom. Slows this down, sends the Ferryman over to the left.
Remember, Netroid already used both relics. This Rama, one whoop from Cyclone, one Fearless from Basket, and his ultimate is available, and this game could be over.
3 Phoenixes down. Ferryman, 5 strong, Fire Giant enabled, and standing outside of the Titan room of an undefeated team looking to do what no one has been able to do this year. They're gonna row it down and end the Warriors 3-0 to be the Masters victors.
The Ferrymen took it in 3. Effortless. Didn't even look like they had a chance in game number 3. I really thought the comeback was going to be coming through. I liked the draft switch up from the Oni Warriors, but I mean, I'll be damned. The Freya really did survive. It got to late game effortlessly. The front line, I seriously cannot stress enough how much work Aurora and Paul and of course Baskin going to the back line. Sino was going for so much setup with this Erlong Shen, and it just made sure that the auto attacks were clean. The range damage from this Martikaros was too much. They just have so many picks that you have to take away from the Ferryman.
They showed up at Worlds. They show up here. They do well when things are on the line. And even 4,000 gold down, looking down the barrel of what should have felt like a Warriors win.
Yep.
They held true, and they win this set. It's 3-0. It's the Ferrymen, and to the victors go the spoils. I'm sure they're going to be able to relax for a little bit before we pull them in here, see how they're going to celebrate. For now, the Dusk is going to break that game down.
That's right. I've got the entirety of the Styx Ferryman standing here.
And then I just want to address one thing. Everybody always says we're like a tournament team and we turn up during the tournament and we show up. We don't do it on purpose. Yeah. We are actually losing to these teams. We are trying our hardest during the regular phase and we're doing everything we can to win. But every loss, we learn something and we get better. And that's what I've done every single year, and I'm going to continue doing it. So it's not like we just show up and turn up, but we actually get better as a team. And you got to give credit to everybody on the team to work towards something, because it's not easy when you lose. So I'm really happy for everybody.
Yeah, as you've said in the past, you learn from your losses, and you guys have shown that, right? In perfect formation, everyone, your Smite Masters champions here in the summer of 2023. Congratulations to the Ferrymen. We'll go back to the desk.
That's it for us here on the Smite Summer Masters and SPL of Phase 1. On behalf of myself, Mifflin, Casters, and everyone in production behind the scenes, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.